Hello and welcome to the British Dapper, and today we're looking at my shaving and beard routine. So recently I posted a video on the colour wheel and I received a message from Alexander Mulholland asking a very simple question separate to the colour wheel, asking about how do I do my moustache, as he'd asked several people and not got really any advice, and he's even been told by a barber less is more. So in response to that request, I'm posting this video today looking at my shaving and beard routine, which obviously includes the moustache as well. So I hope that answers your questions, Alexander. So when it comes to shaving, it's all about preparation. Now, I spent the majority of my youth and in the army. I joined at 16 years of age, and when you join the army they actually give lessons on how to shave, how to shower, to make sure you do it properly. So from a very young age I was taught this method, and it's the method I'm going to pass on to you today regarding shaving. Now, I use a very simple razor, butterfly blade, and you'll notice if you unwind it, you drop the blade in, tighten it up, make sure you do it as tight as you can, because if you can just see there, you can see the blade and then the actual casing. Now, if you don't do it tight, the blade will protrude even further, giving you quite a large area, and that can lead to you cutting yourself more than normal. So make sure it's nice and tight. It compresses the blade properly onto the foot plate, therefore not allowing you to snag yourself so easily. Having said that, when you use a single razor blade, let the razor do all the work. There's no need to press hard with that. I use a shaving brush, and I use Hawkins & Brimble shaving soap, shaving cream. It's a lovely fragrance. As you can see, it's just a paste. We only need a small amount on the actual brush to lather up on the face. Now, I know some people say, well, you've got a beard, you don't need to shave. Well, personally, if you're going to have a beard, have it with a bit of style, and that means it needs to be shaped, and obviously where you don't have the beard line, that still needs to be shaved, and here in the cheeks as well. Now, I've got a couple of days growth here just to make it easier for you to actually see. So we'll start the shaving process. So all we've done, we've filled the sink up with hot water, just need an inch or two, and we put the razor blade or the razor in the actual hot water and leave it there for a little while so the blade warms up and everything's ready to have a shave. Now, whilst that's doing, I then put some water on my neck and in the cheek areas. I tend to use a flannel, only because it absorbs the water, and whilst the water is very hot, I can leave it on the skin and it actually opens the pores up, ready for the actual shaving soap to actually lather up. And the idea of the soap and the heat is to actually get the bristles to stand out from the skin, and that way they're easier to shave off and get a closer shave. Okay. If you don't use this method, just simply use hot water, and that's the method that most people will use. Okay, so with the brush, no need to wet the brush at this stage. What I tend to do is just use the brush, a light dab. We don't need a lot on there, and then we can start to lather up. Now if it feels a bit dry, just then dip it into a little bit of water. Now I can see it's a little bit dry there. Little dab of water. There we go, better. Now I use this stuff because it's really nice. As you can see, it's got a very light scent to it, which really gives you a pleasurable shave. The smell really does make it worthwhile. So just a little bit more. There we are. The razor blade should be ready now in the razor. So we're now ready to shave. Now I go against the grain underneath the neck and also on the cheeks. So just let the razor do all the work. There we are. There we go. I tend to put a little bit more on. Give it a second shave. Just be careful on the second shave, your skin's a little bit more sensitive. So just very lightly with the razor blade. There we are. Now with the cheeks, because I've got here where the beard is, that needs to be masked. I tend to use my finger and then use the razor blade so it backs onto my hand. That way I get a nice straight line without it interfering or looking uneven. There we are. Same on the other side. Mask it. There we are. So, you can see I've got a few little nicks there. That is unavoidable. Tends to happen on the second run with the blade rather than the first. I think that's just because the skin's a lot more sensitive. But they're not heavy and they'll soon stop bleeding and dry out. Now what I would do, sometimes I use moisturiser and sometimes I don't. So it depends how much of a rush you're in. I use a towel just to pad dry where I've shaved. And that's the shave done. Straightforward. I'm sure I'm not teaching you anything new. But that's my method. And what I'll do now is I'll go and get changed and ready, and then I'll come back and then I do the beard, the actual moustache and the beard. But what you can do prior to that is I can actually put a little bit of beard oil in my beard while I'm getting ready, Now you don't need a lot, and it doesn't have to be expensive stuff. I use almond oil only because it's cheap, very cheap, and also it doesn't have a scent, so it's quite good, because if you start layering too many smells on the skin, by the time you end up with a bit of aftershave on or cologne, then obviously you're going to have all these different smells mixing together. So I try and keep things as neutral as possible until then. So again, if I'm going to use a moisturiser on the skin, then I would also use something unscented. Now, whilst the shaving cream does have a slight smell to it, and that will obviously be on the skin for a little while, the scent does go away very quickly. So within 15 minutes of getting changed and ready, that smell's completely gone from the skin, and obviously ready to actually apply any aftershave to it. So the next stage will be the moustache, and that will be answering the question that Alexander asked earlier. So just got changed, so now it's time to actually do the beard and the moustache. Now on the beard itself, because it's quite a short beard, all I need to do is just to apply a little bit of styling wax, normal hairstyling product, just put it in the beard, very light amount of it. It's just to get it to layer the hair down a little bit, and it's only on the beard that we do this. I don't touch the actual moustache. Okay. Now with the moustache, you can see it's already got a little bit of a natural curl to it. I would say with a beard, try not to use shampoo, normal hair shampoo on your beard or on your moustache. I tend to use a very cheap product, baby shampoo, because it's a little bit milder and a little bit more delicate, and that will be a cheap alternative to buying these really expensive brand named beard shampoos, which are, to be fair, they are very effective, but if you can't afford it, then use a different method, and I use quite simply baby shampoo. So now we're in a position, the beard is done, and now we just need to do the moustache. Now I do actually undercut the moustache and shave it. That is to stop hairs coming into my mouth more, and also this little V here does help with the actual beard, the moustache. So I just use, quite simply, I've got a beard brush, and I simply make a centre parting and brush to the side. The idea is to get the moustache to start lifting up in an upward direction. So all we're doing is lifting it up all the time. That looks a bit like I've been hit in the face with a house brick. Now we need to put some wax on. Now I use this product here. There are others on the market, and all it is a hard wax. And all you need to do is to pull out of this a small amount, this is quite a large amount, but about the size of half a pea. Now we need to warm that up on the fingers. Now this is my method. It doesn't work the same for everybody, and they all have their own methods. But what I do is I start from underneath and I brush up. You need to make sure the wax is soft. then I brush it in, and now we've got the actual beard itself, the moustache ends themselves. Now all I do is twist and stretch them out. So you can already see it's starting to take its shape. Very simple to do. Now, some people will say just leave it there. Less is more. However, because I have a much more waxed look, what I do is I apply more and just keep doing it in layers. And I start from the corner of my mouth, pinch and twist, and keep doing it until I get the desired effect. You will get some residue wax in the moustache. There we go. And there we go. It's as simple as that. Very easy to do. As for the statement, less is more, I would say it's taken 18 months to train my moustache to actually get the curl. So I would say when you start off, use a lot more wax because it helps train the moustache to grow in that upward direction. And then if you want to use less and just use wax on the tips, then that's the way to do it. So I hope, Alexander, this answers your question. And for the rest of you, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give us a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe, please feel free to do so. Don't forget, hit the bell for notifications of when our next videos are out. And if you'd like to make a constructive comment, then please feel free to do so below. So until next time, take care.